So this is one of Sonos's brand new smart speakers, and with its support of spatial audio and a ton of other great features, I'd have to say this one seems like a real heavy hitter. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Nenad and I'm super excited to review the Era 300 for you, and at the end I'll let you know if I think it's really worth the big price tag. Just real quick on what comes in the box, we've of course got the speaker itself, a power cable, and some booklets to get you started. Alright, so the design of the speaker is unique to say the least. I was actually kind of nervous if I would like this really different hourglass shape that's going on here, but now that I have it up close and in person, I think it looks pretty sweet. Now if you haven't already jumped into the Sonos ecosystem, just know that all of their products are super high quality, and that's honestly a big reason why I love this brand. Their attention to detail is basically unmatched by any other company in this space, and they definitely hit the mark with getting that premium feel with the Era 300. So you've got this signature Sonos metal mesh on the front here with the small logo, and that same mesh wraps around the back part of the speaker. And I obviously went with the black version, but there's also a white option, and they seriously both look really great, and they'll blend into any type of environment you put it in. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you're into the design like I am, or if you're on the other end of the spectrum and you totally hate it. Now at the top there's a few touch sensitive buttons like the forward and back and play and pause, and if you want to adjust the volume, you can slide your finger along this rounded out area, or you can just tap at the beginning or end of it. Here on the back is where you plug in the power cable, and I gotta say I don't necessarily love the placement of it. I wish it plugged in more toward the bottom or underneath the speaker, but if you have these sitting on the Era 300 stand, it probably makes more sense for it to plug in where it does. Now I have this one sitting on top of my desk, and you can kind of see that the power cable extends out from the back, and I think it would look a lot cleaner if it came out of the bottom, but hey, it's really not that big of a deal. So there's also a way to turn off the microphone if you're worried about privacy, and all you have to do is slide this knob down into the off position. Also, by using this USB-C port, you can connect external devices with some of the different dongles that you can buy separately. And finally, there's this dedicated Bluetooth button, which wasn't an option with older Sonos speakers, but I'm super happy to see it here and on the smaller Era 100. Now, if you haven't already noticed, the Era 300 is a big boy. It's just over 10 inches wide, 7¼ inches deep, and just under 6½ inches tall. So you definitely want to keep the size in mind and make sure there's enough space wherever you're trying to put it. You basically just don't want to keep it in an enclosed space where the sound can't flow out of it like it's designed to. Now real quick, if you like this video so far, go hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to me, so I just want to say thank you. Now let's get into exactly what's inside, which is really the most impressive part. So the reason for this bulky size is because there's 4 tweeters and 2 woofers packed into here. One tweeter on the left and one on the right, another tweeter firing out of the top, and the 4th tweeter is in the front. And for the 2 woofers, those are on the left and right side as well. There's also 6 Class D amplifiers and a microphone inside, which works with voice assistant, and it's compatible with Sonos voice control and Amazon Alexa. Now the reason why everything is set up in this very specific way is to give you that surround sound effect, and I have to say it's really amazing that all of that immersive sound comes out of this single speaker. This is definitely the main selling point of the Era 300, and I'll get into this a little bit more in just a minute. Okay, so this is obviously a speaker that you're going to use for listening to your movies and your music, so let's talk about the most important thing, which is the sound quality. Now I listen to a pretty wide range of music, from hip hop to country music, and I have to say I absolutely love how all of the different genres sound. It gets nice and loud, and it really feels like the sound fills my entire room whenever I'm playing a Dolby Atmos song, and it sounds like it's coming from all different directions. Now I have the Era 300 in a smaller bedroom, so it seems like one speaker is definitely more than enough for in here, but if you're going to use yours in somewhere like a living room, you'll probably be better off pairing these up to really fill that larger space and get that surround sound in full effect. It's honestly pretty hard to describe exactly how it sounds because I haven't really heard anything like this before, so you just have to experience it for yourself and hear exactly what I'm talking about. The best way I can put it is that it feels like the sound is wrapping around the room and coming from all different angles, which is so much different than with a traditional speaker where you can really pinpoint where the sound is coming from. Now I'm not an audio engineer, so I can't tell you about all the technical details of the highs and the mids, but I really do love great sounding audio, and I can definitely say that the Era 300 has really impressed me. Even without spatial audio, I have no complaints with the sound, and if you want to change up some of the audio settings to fine tune it just how you like it, you can adjust the treble and the bass directly in the Sonos app. One thing that did jump out at me was that I noticed that some tracks that had Dolby Atmos capabilities kind of let me down with their sound quality. Now Now, the reason why I think this happens is because Dolby Atmos requires the artist to really craft the sound experience in a certain way, and some artists just do it better than others. And since this is a relatively new technology to the music industry, it still hasn't been perfected, so don't be surprised if your favorite song actually sounds better in normal stereo mode than it does with Dolby Atmos. But the good news is that the Era 300 with its detailed highs and full bass sounds absolutely amazing even when it's just in stereo mode. So let's do a quick sound test. Just remember that what you're hearing through your headphones or computer speakers really won't do it justice, but it'll give you a decent idea of what you can expect. Now, one of the biggest cons with the Era 300 is that right now there's just not a lot of streaming services that support Dolby Atmos. So as of April 2023, you only have 3 options, which are Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Tidal. And for all of you that use Spotify, they haven't even announced any plans to offer this, so at this point, there's just really no timeline. Now, if you don't use any of those streaming services or watch movies that support Dolby Atmos, and you don't have any plans to in the future, this speaker is probably going to be overkill for you, and you're better off checking out something like the Era 100s. So the big question is the Era 300 worth the $449 price tag? Now, there's no denying this is an expensive speaker, but Sonos has always targeted a certain type of consumer with all of their products. Sure, you can of course find a great sounding speaker for much less than $449, but if you're looking for a premium product with a super high quality build, great features like support for spatial audio, and most importantly that sounds really great, then the Era 300 will definitely fit into the rest of your lineup. But if spatial audio isn't super important to you and you don't want to work on expanding your audio ecosystem with other Sonos products, then I would really look elsewhere for something that's a bit more affordable. Now, if you really want the ultimate listening experience and want to dish out the cash to get a pair of Era 300s, you can now look into adding something like the mini sub and a soundbar, which will really take your audio game to the next level. Sonos has kind of taken a play out of Apple's playbook and really made it so that once you get sucked into using one of their products, you want to continue building a whole audio experience with the rest of their devices. So that's pretty much it. I'll leave a link to the Era 300 in the description, and if you have any questions, just drop a comment below and I'll definitely get back to you. Also, if you enjoyed this review, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and as always, I appreciate you and thanks for watching.